the International Energy Agency says world demand for oil, gas and coal is now forecast to peak this decade. That means demand will start to fall a bit sooner than expected. According to the OECD-funded IEA, oil demand is expected to peak before 2030 thanks to the growth of electric vehicles. Gas demand will drop later this decade in advanced economies as heat pumps and renewable energy are increasingly used. That in turn will bring forward the peak in greenhouse gas emissions, although we should remember the world is currently not on course to meet its globally agreed climate targets. Well, let's speak now to Rob Gross. He's the director of the UK Energy Research Centre. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Thanks for having me.
So what do you make of these projections?
Well, it's good news, isn't it? I mean, in some respects, the IEA is a very respected organisation. They produce an annual energy outlook each year. That provides a projection of what they think the future use of fossil fuels, but also the growth of renewables and other things will be going out into the future. And their analysis shows that we're, as a world, doing a little bit better than we thought we were at growing the use of cleaner technologies, and therefore that the peak in our use of fossil fuels will come forward by a few years. But it's important to just be clear that what that means is not that we're reducing our use of fossil fuels yet. It just means that we will be stopping increasing our use of fossil fuels a little bit sooner.
So we're still using, so this is important, isn't it? So this is the peak. We still then continue using a lot for what? How long?
Well, probably for the next several decades.
Right.
Projections differ. If we were to be on track with the 1.5 degree target that's been set globally to try and contain climate change, we should be on a downward trajectory already. I mean, obviously, we can't change our energy system and our use of fossil fuels overnight or in very short order, but we do need to be doing that, and we need to be getting on with that. So I think what the IEA is signalling in some respects is, look, policies around the world over the last 20 years, but most recently in the last few years, they're doing all right. You know, we're heading in the right direction. But in a way, what they're also saying to governments is, don't take your foot off the gas, pardon the pun, don't take your foot off the electric accelerator or whatever.
Very good.
And actually, you need to redouble your efforts, even after this peak has been met, to make sure that we're on track to avoid the worst excesses of climate change.
Fascinating stuff. Rob, thank you very much for coming on the programme and talking us through that. Thank you.